So I played Batman Arkham Asylum in 2023. Arkham Asylum released back in 2009, right after The Dark Knight a year previously, and was the beginning of an epic quadrilogy. Yes, quadrilogy. I'm counting Arkham Origins because it deserves recognition. So right after the groundbreaking film The Dark Knight came Arkham Asylum, a groundbreaking superhero Batman adventure set in the deep depths of Arkham Asylum, surrounded by various characters from Batman's rogues gallery. Arkham Asylum was received so well it was considered the best superhero game ever made, and at the time it was hard to disagree. Never before did we see such quality in a superhero game's original story, along with innovative gameplay that would change the industry forever. Arkham Asylum took me about 5 hours to beat since I've played this game countless times. It nails the atmosphere, it nails its villains, and it nails its gameplay loop, but Arkham Asylum is far from flawless, so despite setting a new industry standard, let's take a look at Batman Arkham Asylum in 2023 and see how it holds up.
The joke's on you.
Batman Arkham Asylum's story is pretty much perfect for a game. Set in Arkham Asylum, you have to stop the Clown Prince of Crime Joker from fulfilling his master plan, which involved taking over Arkham Asylum and manipulating its super inhabitants to stop Batman once and for all. But let's be honest, that's never Joker's real plan. Arkham Asylum throws away the usual origin story for an already established Batman world. You're thrown right into Arkham Asylum, wasting no time introducing you to villains like Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, Zsasz, and a few others. Some get more to do than others, specifically Zsasz. He gets thrown to the side fairly quickly, but it is Zsasz, so who cares really? He gets the spotlight in Arkham City in one of the side missions, so yeah. Speaking of which, Arkham Asylum reminds me of our Discord, by the way, which you can join with the link in the description. It's full of quiet souls about to break mentally, so come join us if you like that. Rocksteady very carefully planted the seeds of what is coming next right around every corner. Batman, played by the late Kevin Conroy, is, well, you know, he's Batman. Kevin Conroy doesn't have much to do here. It's not the most layered performance, but it never really is with Batman. Kevin did a fantastic job as Batman in everything he was in, and that's no different here. Mark Hamill smashes it as Joker as always, and knowing these two will never share the booth again is quite saddening, but without a doubt they nailed it here, as well as nailing it in every Arkham game they are in. The plot is simple, but simple isn't bad at all. In fact, it's a breath of fresh air in a time where everyone wants a convoluted, overly long and drawn out plot. Every second feels crafted purposely. The atmosphere is unmatched. Every room has detail that tells a story. Every room has a unique sound to it, whether it's deafeningly quiet or blasting your eardrums with screams of crazy inmates. The story does try to explore themes of mental health and also critiques Batman's ideology, etc., the usual Batman stuff. So nothing is really going to blow your socks off here, but Rocksteady improved that significantly in the sequels to Arkham Asylum. So the story isn't bad, but it's probably Arkham Asylum's weakest point. As cool and unnerving as Arkham Asylum is, it is the obvious spot to place a Batman game and a Batman movie, which should have been made with Affleck, but who cares, right? So the plot gives you a reason to be Batman, and that's enough. I think especially for 2009. But it is weaker than pretty much every other Batman Arkham story. Maybe slightly stronger than Arkham Knight, because that game's story is kind of a mess. But yeah, I'll be replaying that as well. I might not make a review on it. Let me know if you want to see another review on it. I made a review like in 2021 or something. But people are getting sick of me playing the same games, which is fair enough. I have a terrible habit. Arkham Asylum is a ton of fun to explore, not just because the gameplay loop is good, but because of how small it actually is when compared to other superhero titles. It's so easy to find new things on other playthroughs, blasting through walls for Riddler trophies, backtracking to unlock smaller areas you couldn't access at the start of the game, or seeing Arkham Asylum slowly change over one night. It is such a good idea, and they nail exploration. You are limited in how you can explore though. The island is separated into different sections, so while it is small, you do enter a few buildings like hospitals or holding cells, etc., all of which have been crafted with a lot of care. Every room you enter seems like it has a mystery to be solved, a story to experience, all while naturally pointing you in the direction of the main plot. This is the stuff I love about explorable worlds. Not being the largest open world in history, it's about being the most dense, with tons of things to explore while making it feel natural. So the player, I'm gonna say it, so the player feels like Batman. And I felt like Batman. If you've never played it before, I'm going to avoid spoiling anything, but there is a ton for you to discover when you first play Asylum. It's just peppered with little gold mines everywhere. Arkham Asylum has a strong emphasis on stealth. You hang on gargoyles, sneak around corners, and use batarangs and smoke bombers to escape pursuing enemies. It's a really strong foundation that is built on heavily in Asylum sequels, but here, it's just okay. You really are limited by the gadgets you can use here when compared to the newer games. You could use batarangs to knock a few enemies down, but you don't have your remote electrical charge or your glue grenade, etc, which does limit the variety of options you have in stealth. But I really can't knock it that much. I'm pretty sure this is the first superhero game to actually have some sort of stealth option that is well thought out and designed, but I may be wrong on that. It may not be as strong as its sequels, but it's still pretty damn good. The one thing that is super lacking from Arkham Asylum is customization. Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight definitely did improve on customization quite a bit. Arkham Asylum, you get one outfit and then you unlock one at the end of the game, which you can use in New Game Plus, I think, or a challenge mode is one of them. So the customization is pretty much non-existent, which is not a bad thing, okay? This game is 5 hours long. Not every game needs to have a ton of customization. I mean, it's nice to have new suits and, you know, different ways to explore, to unlock different outfits and stuff like that, like Jedi Survivor and, you know, pretty much every other game under the sun. But Arkham Asylum is so well-paced and so meticulously crafted, you don't really notice it until you're like 90% way through the game. Like, hang on a minute. Where's the customization? Where's the outfits and stuff like that? But by the time you start thinking, oh, it'd be nice to have a suit or something like that, the game's over. So, you know, it's not a massive deal. Now, the Arkham series is known for its free-flow combat system. It completely changed the industry in a matter of months. Suddenly, Assassin's Creed was copying elements. Every superhero game was copying it, like The Amazing Spider-Man, so many others like Sleeping Dogs, etc. But none of them did it quite as good as Rocksteady. That being said, this is clearly the first iteration, and it has a lot of flaws. It feels slow and unresponsive at times, and once again lacks that creativity and variety you get from its sequels. But Asylum still has more options than almost every other copycat under the sun. You counter, you dodge, you throw batarangs and do brutal takedowns on enemies, even being able to pick them up and throw them down places where they would without a doubt die, but let's not talk about that. The enemy variety is actually surprisingly varied. I was really surprised that Arkham City really only added a couple of enemy variants when compared to Arkham Asylum. Asylum is quite short, so you never really tire from the free flow system, especially with how well paced the XP system is. You earn XP from every encounter with enemies or every Riddler trophy you pick up, so you earn upgrades at a rapid pace. It never feels like it's being artificially slowing down or anything like that, so that's super solid too. The upgrades you can unlock do change the gameplay a little, offering those takedowns I mentioned, as well as making you slightly more effective in stealth, but as I've said, this is just the foundation, so it will never be as varied as its sequels. The boss fights are crap though. They suck. They just suck. Arkham City improved on boss fights significantly, and Arkham Origins did the same as well, so the boss fights here are the weakest element when it comes to gameplay. Rocksteady clearly didn't know what to do here and decided to play it safe for their first game, which is fine, but yeah, the boss fights definitely could have been a lot better. Arkham Asylum is still incredible in 2023 and remains some of people's favourite game in the series, and it's easy to see why. Despite some of the dated gameplay and plot that doesn't really do anything super interesting, it's undeniable that Arkham Asylum is atmospherically the best Batman game out there and has to be played by every Batman fan and most gamers out there. Some people might not like it. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, smash that like button and maybe stick around by subscribing. Thank you again.